Ryan Reaves has made a career out of intimidation, but there are 6 players who pushed him further than anyone else. Some fights were personal, some were legendary, and some moments shocked even the fans. He wasn't supposed to have these rivalries. He was just an enforcer, a player known for toughness rather than skill. Yet, time and again, these battles became defining moments in his career. Every punch, every fight, and every face-off told a story of tension, grit, and determination. Without these rivalries, the NHL wouldn't have seen the side of Reaves that both terrified opponents and earned respect from fans. By the end of this list, you'll see exactly who got under his skin like no one else, and why the number 1 player is someone even the toughest competitors tried to avoid. If you love NHL rivalries and want to see more inside stories like this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Number 6, Evander Kane, Ryan Reaves, and Evander Kane's rivalry is one of the most intense in recent NHL history. Their clashes started during matchups between the San Jose Sharks and the Vegas Golden Knights, and from the very first game, sparks flew. Both players were known for their physical style, but there was something about their matchups that felt personal, like neither was willing to give an inch. Reaves, the enforcer, was feared for his toughness, and Kane, a skilled forward who could match intensity with skill, created a rivalry that fans just couldn't look away from. The 2019 playoffs took their feud to the next level. In Game 3, Reaves and Kane dropped the gloves in the 3rd period, and the fight quickly became the talk of the series. Reaves, known for his aggressive but disciplined physicality, landed clean punches that left Kane off balance. It wasn't just a fight, it was a statement. That night, Reaves showed that his presence on the ice could change momentum, energizing his team and thrilling fans with every hit. The fight wasn't about penalties or stats, it was about pride, reputation, and refusing to back down. Their rivalry didn't stop there. In 2025, Reaves spoke out on the Cam and Strick podcast, and the tension became public again. He criticized Kane as being all bark and no bite, claiming Kane liked to talk a big game, but only engaged when it was safe. Reaves made it clear that Kane's attempts to challenge him weren't genuine, that he only fought under the watchful eye of referees. These comments reignited the feud, drawing attention from fans who remembered their previous clashes and wanted to see who would come out on top next. Kane responded by downplaying the encounters, insisting that Reaves, despite his reputation as one of the league's toughest players, hadn't landed as many punches as people thought. His dismissive attitude only added fuel to the fire, proving that this rivalry was as much mental as it was physical. Fans followed every interaction, both on and off the ice, waiting to see how the two would react whenever they faced each other again. Off the ice, the tension continued. Kane had a history of controversial behavior, including moments like skipping handshake lines after playoff losses, which some saw as disrespectful. Reaves himself wasn't a stranger to controversy. In November 2024, he was suspended for an illegal check to the head of Edmonton Oilers' Darnell Nurse. Both players' reputations for aggression and confrontation made every matchup a potential flashpoint, and their personal rivalry became a story that went beyond normal competition. Despite their shared controversies, the Reaves-Kane rivalry remains one of the most compelling in the NHL. Their fights, verbal spats, and mutual dislike created memorable moments that fans still talk about today. This rivalry showcased not just skill or physicality, but passion, pride, and the kind of intensity that makes hockey thrilling. As long as both players are active in the league, there is no doubt their feud will continue to capture attention, keeping fans on the edge of their seats. In the end, the story of Ryan Reaves and Evander Kane isn't just about a few fights or public comments. It's about two competitive, fiery personalities clashing in a sport that demands toughness and courage. Their rivalry has left a mark on the NHL, proving that sometimes the greatest battles aren't just about goals or points. They're about heart, intensity, and refusing to back down. Number 5, Matt Rempe. Ryan Reaves is no stranger to intense rivalries, but sometimes the most surprising battles come from unexpected opponents. That's exactly what happened when he faced rookie Matt Rempe of the New York Rangers. Rempe was new to the NHL, just finding his footing among seasoned veterans, and most people expected him to stay out of Reaves' path. But when the two crossed paths on the ice, Rempe didn't back down. He stood his ground, surprising not only Reaves but also fans and teammates alike. This wasn't just a fight, it was a statement that even rookies could earn respect if they had the courage to face one of the league's toughest enforcers head on. The matchup happened during a regular season game, but the tension felt like a playoff showdown. Reaves, as always, was physical, testing every opponent and establishing dominance in every shift. Rempe, however, had a different approach. He didn't throw reckless punches or run blindly into danger. Instead, he read Reaves' movements, timed his exchanges carefully, and made it clear he wasn't intimidated. Fans watching the fight remember how unusual it was to see a rookie handle a seasoned enforcer so well. Most young players would have been overwhelmed, but Rempe showed a rare mix of skill, guts, and determination. What made this fight particularly memorable was the way it highlighted Reaves' respect for toughness. While Reaves is known for intimidating his opponents, he also recognizes when someone earns their stripes. After the bout, Reaves reportedly nodded in acknowledgement, a small gesture that meant a lot in the world of hockey enforcers. It was as if he was silently saying, "You've got guts, kid." That moment gave fans a glimpse of the human side of Reaves, a player who thrives on toughness, but also respects it when it's matched. Off the ice, the rivalry between Reaves and Rempe didn't have the history or drama of his battles with veteran players, but it carried a different kind of intrigue. Sports analysts and commentators talked about how the fight symbolized the changing nature of the NHL. Younger players like Rempe were coming into a league filled with enforcers like Reaves, and they weren't afraid to stand up to the veterans. This clash became a talking point, not just for the fight itself, but for what it represented: courage, confidence, and the willingness to challenge expectations. Interestingly, this rivalry also showed a playful side to hockey rivalries. Reaves and Rempe exchanged words and gestures before dropping the gloves, and their competitiveness seemed almost friendly in a strange way. It was clear that both players were motivated by pride, but there was also a shared understanding of the game's culture. Fans saw a duel that wasn't just about anger, it was about proving oneself, testing limits, and earning respect in a league where toughness matters as much as skill. By the end of the fight, both players walked away with something valuable. Reaves reinforced why he is considered one of the NHL's most intimidating enforcers, while Rempe announced his arrival as a rookie who could handle pressure and fight for respect. The encounter didn't escalate into a long-standing feud, but it left a mark on both players' careers and on the memories of fans who witnessed it. It reminded everyone that rivalries in hockey aren't always about long histories. They can emerge instantly when courage meets experience head-on. In the story of Ryan Reaves, his fight with Matt Rempe stands out as a unique chapter. It's a reminder that even the toughest players sometimes find unexpected challenges, and that respect in hockey can be earned in a single shift. For fans, it was thrilling, unexpected, and a perfect example of why Reaves' battles are always worth watching. Even rookies, it seems, can get under his skin and earn a moment in the spotlight. Number 4, Marcus Foligno. Ryan Reaves and Marcus Foligno have had one of those rivalries that fans remember not just for fights, but for the sheer intensity on the ice. Both players are known for their physical style, willing to drop the gloves and throw their bodies into every battle. When they face each other, it's never just a normal game. There's an energy, a tension that makes every shift feel important. Foligno isn't afraid to mix it up, and that made him one of the few players who could consistently challenge Reaves' dominance in these physical showdowns. The rivalry reached a peak in 2022 during a heated matchup between their teams. The game was fast-paced and physical from the opening puck drop, and tensions escalated quickly. In the second period, the long-anticipated fight finally happened. Reaves and Foligno squared off in front of the benches, drawing the attention of fans, teammates, and commentators. Reaves, known for his precise and punishing style, landed a decisive uppercut early in the fight. It wasn't just about landing punches, it was about timing, positioning, and making a statement. That one blow shifted the energy of the game, signaling that Reaves was in control, but Foligno's willingness to fight back kept the rivalry alive. What makes the Reaves-Foligno rivalry particularly interesting is that it goes beyond the fight itself. Both players are competitors first, enforcers second. They push each other to perform at their best, forcing one another to stay sharp and aggressive. Fans often talk about how these matchups highlight the mental side of hockey as much as the physical. Reaves and Foligno read each other's movements, anticipate each other's strikes, and constantly look for any opening to gain an advantage. That mental chess adds depth to every encounter, making the rivalry feel layered and compelling rather than just a series of punches. Off the ice, both Reaves and Foligno carry a reputation for being tough but fair. There's a mutual understanding that comes with their style of play. They know what it takes to compete in the NHL at the highest physical level. Yet this understanding doesn't eliminate tension, it enhances it. Each time they meet, the anticipation is high because both players want to prove themselves. Fans watching know that any scrap between them could turn into a highlight reel moment, and often it does. The 2022 clash also had a ripple effect in the locker room. Teammates of both players were inspired, energized, and sometimes amused by the intensity. Coaches, while stressing discipline, knew that this rivalry pushed both teams to perform harder. Reaves' performance in that fight wasn't just about dominating Foligno, it set the tone for the rest of the game, and reminded everyone watching why he is feared and respected in equal measure. Beyond the physical exchanges, the Reaves-Foligno rivalry is a story of respect earned through courage. Foligno's willingness to stand toe-to-toe with one of the league's toughest enforcers earned him recognition, while Reaves' ability to maintain composure and assert dominance in these moments reinforced his legendary status. Their encounters aren't just battles, they are tests of character, stamina, and focus. In the end, the rivalry between Ryan Reaves and Marcus Foligno is a perfect example of why hockey is as thrilling as it is physical. Every game between them carries the promise of tension, confrontation, and unforgettable moments. Their fights are more than punches, they're a showcase of heart, grit, and the drive to prove oneself. For fans, each clash is a reminder that some rivalries are about respect, courage, and the kind of intensity that keeps people talking long after the final buzzer. Number 3. Matthew Olivier. The rivalry between Ryan Reaves and Matthew Olivier is one that fans still talk about years after it happened. Their clash in 2025 was unforgettable and was quickly dubbed the Fight of the Year. Unlike other rivalries that build slowly over time, this one erupted in a single game, showing just how quickly tension can ignite on the ice. Both players are known for their toughness and willingness to fight, and when they met that night, the intensity was immediate. From the opening face-off, it was clear that neither Olivier nor Reaves was going to back down. The fight itself was a back-and-forth battle that had fans on the edge of their seats. Olivier, who was already gaining a reputation as a scrappy and fearless player, didn't hold anything back. He matched Reaves punch for punch, showing that he was willing to stand toe-to-toe with one of the NHL's most feared enforcers. Reaves, true to form, countered with precision and experience, landing heavy, clean shots that reminded everyone why he is considered one of the toughest players in the league. The energy in the arena was electric, with fans cheering for every swing and watching every move closely. What made this rivalry particularly memorable was how personal it felt. After the fight, Reaves pointed to his bicep and mouthed, "Too strong," a gesture that instantly became iconic. It wasn't just a show of confidence, it was a message to Olivier and anyone watching that Reaves had asserted himself, but it was done with the kind of flair that makes hockey so entertaining. Olivier, for his part, didn't seem intimidated. He continued to play aggressively for the rest of the game, showing that he wasn't just fighting for pride in that moment, but also trying to prove he belonged on the ice with someone of Reaves' caliber. The Olivier-Reaves rivalry also highlighted the mental side of being an enforcer. Both players needed more than just physical strength. They had to anticipate each other's moves, control their balance, and maintain focus while adrenaline surged through their bodies. Every punch, every jab, and every block was a combination of skill, timing, and courage. Fans often say that the best fights in hockey aren't just about hitting hard, they're about control, awareness, and the ability to keep going when most people would stop. This fight had all of that in abundance. Off the ice, the rivalry carried its own tension. Interviews after the game showed that both players were thinking about more than just the immediate matchup. Reaves' gestures and Olivier's determination became talking points in locker rooms and among fans. Analysts praised both players for their courage and for putting on a fight that reminded everyone why enforcers remain such a unique and respected part of hockey. This wasn't about penalties or stats, it was about heart, determination, and refusing to be intimidated. What makes this rivalry stand out compared to Reaves' other matchups is how quickly Olivier earned respect. He wasn't a longtime opponent or a veteran trying to prove himself. He was a player who, in one night, challenged one of the league's toughest. The fight became a defining moment for Olivier's career, showing teammates, fans, and critics that he could handle the heat when it mattered most. For Reaves, it was another reminder that even the toughest enforcer can meet someone who won't be easily pushed around. In the end, the rivalry between Ryan Reaves and Matthew Olivier is a perfect example of what makes hockey exciting. It's not just about scoring goals or winning games, it's about courage, pride, and moments that fans remember for years. That 2025 fight wasn't just a clash of fists, it was a clash of determination, heart, and skill. For fans, it's a fight that captures the spirit of hockey, showing that sometimes the greatest rivalries aren't just built over time, they're made in moments that no one will ever forget. Loving these intense Reaves rivalries so far? Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe now so you don't miss the next battles. Things are only getting wilder from here. Number 2, Brandon Bollig, Ryan Reaves, and Brandon Bollig's rivalry is one of those classic enforcer matchups that defined an era of hockey between 2010 and 2015. Both players were known for their toughness, willingness to fight, and ability to change the energy of a game with their physical play. Whenever their teams faced each other, fans knew a showdown between Reaves and Bollig was likely, and more often than not, it delivered. Their fights were intense, raw, and personal, capturing the attention of fans and teammates alike. Over those 5 years, Reaves and Bollig met in 5 particularly memorable bouts. Each fight told a different story, but there was always one constant: neither player backed down. Reaves, with his mix of size, strength, and experience, was a formidable opponent. Bollig, however, had a reputation for resilience, grit, and a willingness to stand his ground no matter the situation. The clash of these two personalities made each encounter unpredictable. Fans would lean forward, knowing that every punch could shift momentum in favor of either team. One of the most notable aspects of their rivalry was how it showcased the mental side of being an enforcer. Fighting in the NHL isn't just about throwing punches. It's about timing, positioning, and reading your opponent. Reaves and Bollig both understood this instinctively. In several bouts, they would circle each other, waiting for the right moment to strike, gauging reactions and testing each other's resolve. It wasn't always about brute strength. It was about control, patience, and the willingness to stay in the fight longer than your opponent. This gave every encounter an added layer of excitement and tension. Off the ice, their rivalry also had an interesting dynamic. Both players were respected for their toughness, but also for their professionalism. They knew that these fights weren't about personal grudges. They were about proving toughness, protecting teammates, and sending a message. Their battles became almost ritualistic in a way, a spectacle that fans and commentators anticipated whenever their teams met. Some younger players looked up to them, learning that courage and standing up for your team are key traits in professional hockey. One fight in particular during the 2012 season is often remembered by fans for its intensity. Reaves and Bollig squared off mid-game, and the bout was fast, furious, and evenly matched. Punches flew, gloves dropped, and both players showed no fear. The energy in the arena was electric, with fans erupting at every exchange. By the end, both players walked away with respect for each other's toughness, and the game itself seemed to shift in intensity because of their battle. It was a reminder that enforcers don't just fight, they set the tone for their teams, inspire their teammates, and energize fans. The Reaves-Bollig rivalry also highlights how enforcers define eras in hockey. Their series of fights wasn't just about scoring points or winning games. It was about character, courage, and the willingness to confront anyone who challenged them. These moments gave fans memorable highlights and reminded everyone why toughness and grit remain essential parts of the sport. In the end, the rivalry between Ryan Reaves and Brandon Bollig is more than just a series of fights. It's a story of respect earned through courage, determination, and heart. Both players pushed each other to their limits, creating moments that fans still remember today. Their clashes captured the essence of hockey's physical side, showing that sometimes the fiercest battles happen not on the scoreboard, but in the heart, mind, and fists of players willing to go all out for their team. Number 1. Tom Wilson. When it comes to Ryan Reaves' rivalries, few are as intense or as talked about as his battles with Tom Wilson. From the first time they faced each other, it was clear that these two players had a clash of personalities as much as a clash of fists. Wilson's aggressive playing style and Reaves' reputation as one of the toughest enforcers in the league set the stage for confrontations that were as personal as they were physical. Every time their teams met, fans expected fireworks, and more often than not, they got exactly that. Their on-ice battles have been marked by physicality from start to finish. Both players are known for throwing hard hits and standing up for teammates, and when they faced off, the tension was immediate. In several games, Reaves and Wilson were involved in hard, back-and-forth fights where neither player would give an inch. It wasn't just about proving toughness, it was about asserting dominance, sending a message, and refusing to let the other take control. These fights weren't random, they were carefully calculated moments where experience, timing, and instinct all came into play. One of the most memorable aspects of the Reaves-Wilson rivalry is the level of intensity they bring to every encounter. Unlike some rivalries that build slowly, theirs seems to flare instantly. Even small exchanges in the corners of the rink can escalate quickly because both players carry that sense of pride and determination. Fans watching know that when Reaves and Wilson are near each other, a shift can turn into a highlight reel moment in seconds. It's this unpredictability and raw energy that makes their matchup so compelling. Off the ice, their rivalry has been the subject of media attention and fan discussion alike. Analysts often point out that while both Reaves and Wilson are respected for their skill and toughness, their encounters often involve psychological games. They watch each other, study habits, and look for weaknesses, making each meeting not just a test of strength, but also of strategy and mental endurance. Reaves, in particular, thrives on this. He enjoys the challenge of facing someone as skilled and aggressive as Wilson. The rivalry has also had a lasting effect on their teams. Whenever Reaves and Wilson are in the same game, it energizes their teammates. Players know that seeing their enforcer step up or fight back inspires confidence and sets the tone for the entire team. A single exchange between Reaves and Wilson can change momentum, fire up the bench, and shift the atmosphere in the arena. Fans often describe it as the moment the game comes alive, and it's no exaggeration. Another interesting aspect of this rivalry is the respect underlying the tension. While the fights are intense and sometimes brutal, both players recognize the other's toughness. Reaves respects Wilson's ability to match him physically and mentally, while Wilson knows he's facing someone who doesn't back down. This mutual respect adds depth to the rivalry, making it about more than just anger. It's a competition of skill, heart, and courage. In the end, the rivalry between Ryan Reaves and Tom Wilson is a perfect example of why hockey's physical side captivates fans. Their clashes aren't just fights, they are moments that define games, highlight careers, and remind everyone why toughness, grit, and determination are as important as skill on the ice. Reaves' encounters with Wilson show that even the league's most feared enforcers can meet their match, creating unforgettable moments that fans will remember for years to come. It's this combination of intensity, respect, and unpredictability that cements Wilson as the player who pushed Reaves harder than almost anyone in his career. Ryan Reaves' career is filled with toughness, grit, and unforgettable battles. But these 6 players pushed him to his limits like no one else. From Evander Kane's intense feuds to Tom Wilson's relentless aggression, each rivalry brought out a different side of Reaves. His skill, his pride, and his will to never back down. These matchups aren't just about fights, they're about courage, respect, and moments that define hockey. Fans will remember these battles long after the games are over. And that's the story of the 6 players Ryan Reaves hated the most. The ones who truly challenged him on and off the ice. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Ryan Reaves' toughest rivalries, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and stay tuned for our next video covering the NHL's most unforgettable legends.